Well, hello, flower friends. This is Pam, Flower Patch Farmhouse, and we're again out in my greenhouse. Now, just because I do these things in the greenhouse doesn't mean you couldn't do them in your home. It's just a little bit messy, but I used to put brown paper down on my craft paper, down on my table, kitchen table, to do things like this, so it's perfectly doable. So, that being said, we are going to plant up bare root clematis or clematis, however you pronounce it. And I did a excerpt on planting a clematis that I got from Brushwood Nurseries, and it came in the shape of a pot, had the soil around it, like it had just been taken out of the pot, and we potted those up into 1-gallon pots. But then, not too long later, I was in Costco. One thing I love about Costco is they get the best bulbs and perennials, etc. in. This is from Longfield Gardens. I cut the tag off, not tag, but the label a little bit when I was opening it. But Longfield Gardens have really premium plants, and what is great about getting them at Costco is you get a lot for the money. So this had 4 clematis in it, 2 Duchess of Edinburgh, and 2 multi-blue, which there are a couple of doubles. And I've wanted the Duchess of Edinburgh for a long time. And when I saw them for $12.99 for 4 plants, I had to grab them. So even though I have tons of clematis, they do great in my garden. There's always a spot to put them and they don't take up a lot of room. Anyways, I'm going to show you how I plant them up because they are truly bare root. They come inside of here from the bag in these little bags here. And a lot of times because they're shipped dormant, but in a warm store in my home, which it's been a few days since I bought them, they'll start to sprout and they'll wake up. So you'll see when you go to open it that they may have sprouted. Now this is one of the multi-blue that I already took out, and you can see the little sprouts. And here is the roots. So they're packaged, it looks like peat moss or coconut coir. And it was really moist. It still was really moist, so that means they're in good shape. If it was dried out, it's iffy because they don't like getting dried out. But usually they fly off the shelves at Costco so fast that they're not usually dried out. Sometimes at other big box stores, I have not seen the Longfield Gardens at other big box stores, but other brands or whatever, a lot of times they will be dried out. Don't be afraid to take a chance on them if it's a really good price. Sometimes they'll be just fine. So anyways, I took this out of the package, examined it. It's doing great. I'm going to pot it up in one of these. I keep all of these and I just recycle them. I wash them up. Got a spider on it. And then I reuse them for things just like this. When I buy bare root perennials, etc., I have some on hand to plant them up in. So anyways, I'm going to fill this up to the point where I can put this in there. And I'm not going to fill it up very far because here's the crown, here's the sprouts, the new growth, but here's the crown of this plant. I want this crown 2 inches deep under the soil. So I need to put this down far enough that when I plant up, it's going to be 2 inches deep underneath there. I am going to put a little bit more because it was a little bit deeper. And there, that works good. If you can see, that's going to be 2 inches down once I fill this up. So now I'm going to be very careful. And it doesn't matter if I bury the majority of these sprouts because they will keep growing up. On some things that wouldn't work, but on clematis, it's just fine. So I'm filling up to probably 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch of the top. I haven't pressed it down. You could firm it down a little bit. You don't want to press too hard. And then I will water. I have a little thing to catch the water here. I will put it in it and add the water. Add some more water. It has a little water in it because I already planted one of these. And there we have it. We'll let it soak through, and then I'll put it over on the floor here of my greenhouse until I can plant it out in the soil. Right now, there's so much snow on the ground, I can't put mine out in the ground. If there wasn't snow, I could. It would not matter. especially the ones that came in the dirt because they're in soil. If they come in a pot or in, yeah, if you get them in a pot, like if I would have bought some at a garden center, they can go in the ground anytime. Just make sure you plant them, the crown, 2 inches below your soil surface. But bare roots, sometimes you want to get them started, or they're available in the store when you can't plant out, and that's why I plant them up in the pots, and they work really good. And they're available right now because spring is when you plant bare root perennials. That being said, I think that's watered good enough. I'm putting it on this ground over here on the floor where I keep all of them. So I'm going to reposition the camera so you get a closer view of what I'm doing. Here's my pot to fill. This is the Duchess of Edinburgh. And I can see, I'm carefully examining, there's a sprout right there. So I don't want to cut there and cut it. So I am going to make sure I'm well above that. And I'm just going to cut it open. There. And I will gently dump out the medium. Set that aside and pull up the plants. Okay, there's one. That out of the way. And there's the other one. Okay. So we're all good. So I'm just going to mix the medium in here. It's good stuff. And I will just fill up the pot. Again, I won't fill it up all the way. I'm just going to get an eyeball of where to fill it to. And then I just scoop it in here. I probably should buy fancy scoopers rather than recycled containers, but I use a lot of recycled stuff. This one still is pretty dormant. So I'm just going to fill it up. That one I could just bury. And firm it in. And there's my tub of water. And water it in. And I will mark it. Oop, I forgot to mark that last one. I better go do that. So just mark the container. Like right here it has the sticker. And I'm not going to write the whole name because I know it's Duchess of Edinburgh, but I'm going to write Duchess Clematis. On that, and I'll let it soak up a while I do another one. You know what? I'm going to put the name on it while I can tilt it up and do it even better. So Duchess Clematis. So there we go. It's all on there. Now I may not have mentioned this yet, but if I didn't have a sticker on here to write on, I would have used an old sticker or tag, plastic tag from a plant I had bought before. This is actually a Josephine clematis that I killed. I just did something wrong. I let it dry out is actually what I did. And it died. So that's a big no-no. But sometimes I get too many things going and I need to take better care. Anyways, I'm just filling up to... Yeah, there. You see the pot? See it in there? Now, the crown down here, the base, will be 2 inches below the soil. As I said before, you do not have to be exact. You can be roundabout. That one, the growth was very minimal, and you can bury it. It won't hurt it. Because it will continue on growing. So there. Firm it down. Got it all written on. This one's probably soaked up enough. And I set it on the floor. I'll show you where I have them put in a minute. Down here is where I'm keeping my bare root plants I've potted up. I have my sea holly I did a video recently on, and my clematis. And right now we're having such mild temperatures. Night times get down into the low 30s. I could keep these out in the garden and I may move them. I'm revamping in here in the greenhouse and putting in new shelves. So these can be safely tucked outside. I could put them right out there. The snow has mostly melted right off of that area. I could line them up there on the dirt. And then if we were going to get really cold temperatures, I would bring them in here. Or if you don't have a greenhouse or somewhere, you can put them out on a porch up against the house. It would probably stay warm enough if you're not in too cold of an area, and or in a garage, somewhere where it just wouldn't freeze them really hard, but pretty much they would just kind of stay good in their pots until it's time to plant them out in the garden. So that's basically how I pot up clematis, bare root clematis, however which way you want to, or clematis. I know people have their preferences of how that is pronounced. And it's pretty simple. I will keep them watered, not waterlogged, but moist, until I can get them out into the garden. They will probably be sprouting above and, putting on canes or vines, whatever you want to call them, before I get them planted out in the garden. And that's okay. So from now on, I could put them out there anytime I want. Once they've been established in the pot, I could wait till more of summer, etc., and they will be just fine because they have a good root system in the pot. And when I plant them out in the garden, I will take you along with me, and I probably will get or build an obelisk for these to climb. So that is it, my friends. How to plant bare root clematis, clematis. You take your choice. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.